Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Disc Northwest USAU Boys State Finals between the Nathan Hale Raiders and the Ingraham Rams at Memorial Stadium here tonight.
I'm Dante Lopez Escarez.
And I am Gabby Peyoyo. So this is Hale's second time here at finals, winning last year against Lakeside, and tonight
trying to defend their title against the Ingraham Rams.
Especially Hale being undefeated this whole season. And
right now it looks like we have a call on the field. Ingram's, did they start on A or start on D?
Ingraham started on D. And that is a score for
That's
Ingraham.
That's a break.
That was Alex Atwood to Luca Cruz. So we can see here Alex giving a little dishy pass to Luca and being able to spike that disc into the end zone.
Coming in this game tonight, I had the chance to interview both coaches all the coaches on both teams. I've had the chance to be coached by D.Y. Chen of Hale and Ben Snell of Ingraham on Seven Hills. On the Ingraham side, we have Ben Snell and Kelly Johnson, who both agreed that they were both excited to be here tonight. Kelly is happy to see the Ingraham boys here in the state finals tonight after losing last year in the state semis. And Ben Snell, really excited to be here. First time coaching in the state finals under his few years here at Ingraham. And on the other side, DY said he was feeling electric. We're excited with Dom, as well as they mentioned the conditions tonight being very windy, and whoever could take care of the ball tonight, that just increased your chances of winning.
So
there's the pull.
Hale with the pull.
No, Ingraham with the pull.
Oh, yeah, Ingraham with the pull.
Hale on now.
You can see the disc is centered in the middle by Jasper Dean and is being swung over to Alex Katz. Swung back to the middle by Jasper Dean. You can see Ingraham throwing a little poachy handler set with Hale working a vert right now. Number 4, Conrad with the disc. Who's right under by Alex Katz, which is being hucked. And
that's a big layout D in the end zone by what number? Who is that?
That is Sung Yu, I think. Sun Yu by
big layout D.
Number 68. That was great. So you can see Kimmy with a disc, and he's
with a huck,
ripping it. Oh, and
Alex
it's floating.
Katz is floating.
Ah! Oh, and hit it saved.
An upline pass to Kai Dervosla. Kai looking.
Something
looks like there's a call.
You can see both teams are doing really good on their fast breaks, being able to get it down, gaining some yards. So that was Salma with the disc.
It was probably a travel call, most likely. Toe being dragged.
Ooh.
Swing drop by, or swing straight to the turf, and Kimmy just couldn't save it.
See Tony Veneri with that big under. He's looking downfield, hitting that under with a swung in the middle, or a dishy pass to Jasper Dean. Another undercut by Tony Veneri showing a huck.
Straight to Conrad in the end zone.
That is another score for Hale.
That's a hold for Hale. 1-1. Hale doing a great job in that point, just finding really big open unders, and whoever is poached off. Jasper Dean to Tony Veneri for the under, and Tony just finding an open Conrad in the end zone.
So Dante, I know that you've played a lot of O2 in your career, and knowing that you played you had the opportunity to play with Tony Veneri, Jasper Dean, and Alex Katz. What's that experience like, knowing you played with them, like YCC and for Seven Hills?
Um, it's just really great to be able to meet new people, and especially Tony Veneri. I've had the chance to play 3 years of Seven Hills with him, and just to see how far he's come, being able to make that USA team, and he's just a monster.
Mhm.
Um, Jasper, I've also had the chance to play on Seven Hills with him, and that man, oh, I don't. He grew. He hit 2 growth spurts, and it's just crazy to see how tall he is and how great of a player he is.
Hale is doing a really good job. I think I've noticed both teams are doing a really good job of being able to find the open space. And you can see Zov with the disc. He's been actually out half of his season due to a sprained ankle, but you can see
Dislocated ankle.
But now you can see he's out here grinding with his team one last time this season. See Ingram with the
Upline.
disc. It's an upline by Kai Dervasala. You can see Kai's trying to look downfield. Ooh, and a
Ooh.
miscommunication.
On the swing.
Let's see if Hale can get this score.
Get back the break that they had at the beginning.
So Zav picking up with the disc. You can see Hale with their vert stack.
Oh, Spencer with a spin move to get loose of Kai, but he was not looked at by Zav.
Swung to Zav. He's looking downfield. And it's being
up.
And
Kai just back there poaching in the back. That is not someone you want to throw to when he's in the backfield. I've had experiences where you just can't stop that man, especially in a finals game. Oh, and there's a huck up to Kai. Spencer trying to make a play, but just couldn't make it there in time.
Ingraham with the score. That was David Atwood to Kai Dervasala. That was a really great connection with that IO backhand. And you can see here Spencer running it down but just couldn't get it. And there Kai was just there
Wide
with that open score.
That's big. Ingram's been able to get that first break at the beginning of the game and still holding that holding for that score. After that turn, they were able to get the turn back and have a hold 2-1 here. Yeah.
So Dante, how would you feel? Because I know you have been to finals once. Your junior year. How would you be? How did it feel to be under the lights playing for one thing, and that is to get the dub, to get gold?
Unfortunately, that year my team, or the team that I played with, the Cleveland Eagles, we suffered a loss to Lakeside pretty bad. But it was a very great experience in my opinion. Just to be under the lights with my brothers, and I guess one thing that players might feel is a little anxious, little jittery on the field. I know that's how I was feeling, but I was also feeling excited, doing everything I could to help secure the dub. And now we're back. Swing to Tony. Tony under the jack. Swings to Katz. Fake hammer. He probably learned that from Otis.
Oh gosh. Hale's doing a really good job of being able to
get those very deep unders.
Yes, and being able to just get the disc off their hands as fast as they can with those resets and dumps.
What a move by Jack. Lost his defender.
So you can see Hale set up in their end zone. They're having a bit of a struggle. You can see Ingram walking down on their defense right now, staying really, really tight. There's Tony Veneri with the save. Tony Veneri looking downfield.
Jasper, squeezing it into a tight hole, bringing it back in bounds.
Literally in the front corner of their end zone right now. Lot
Wow.
of,
Wow.
wow. Oh, jeez.
Last
That was a
resort.
Hale score. You could see in that play there was just a lot of clumps and a lot of clutters, but somehow Hale got it to work. You can see in this replay.
Jasper struggling to find someone, and at this last second, who did he find? Is that Jack? That is Jack. Jack, what is it? Helfrich for the score.
Ingram did do a really good job of being able to stay in front of Jasper, staying in the lanes for him, so it's hard for him to get into that front corner of their end zone. How is it like being coached by, you said, DY and Ben?
Yeah, it was my first year of Seven Hills. DY is a very, very great coach in my opinion. He really pushed me, and he's really fun to be around.
Yeah.
He's always smiling, and if he's not, then you probably did something wrong, and you probably deserve the mean mug he was giving you. But I would say my experience was great having DY as a coach. And this last year at Seven Hills, my senior year, being coached by Ben Snell, it was a really great experience. He's the same way. He'll joke around with you, but he'll really push you to be a better player. And I really enjoyed being coached by Ben.
Yeah, most definitely. So you can see Hale with that big pull and is being
Out of bounds.
brought to the middle by Kai. Going off of that, I actually had the opportunity to get coached by DY and Ben, and as you said, they're both great coaches.
Oh, Luca with a great outcut, driving out.
And a big
Who's
under,
that?
just a little too
Overthrown.
high.
Oh, it looks like there's a foul called.
Just a little too high.
Jack Hill is calling a foul. Maybe a little shove in the back or something when he went up for the disc, but they're definitely talking it out.
I personally think calls like this are somewhat just a chance to retry on that play.
I think it's great that in this sport we're able to
Be able to-
self-officiate
yeah.
and talk with. Oh, misbid there. But yeah, continuing off of what I was saying, self-officiate and really talk it out with the opponent,
Most definitely.
because sometimes it is challenging to see things from a different point of view, but it gives us a chance to. Kai shoving it up line to.
Oh,
Wow.
easy pocket.
To David Atwood, and Atwood straight to Luca Cruz. That was a quick score. That was another hold by Ingram, 3-2.
We'll get to see this in the. I don't think you won't be able to see this in the replay, but Ingram had a really tough time cutting into the same space and cutting all at the same time. But they had those open looks, and they easily had that score by finding those little pockets and being able to cut into the open spaces. You can see the wind picking up a little bit more.
Yeah, look at Kelly Johnson's hair blowing a little bit. It's a little breezy. Oh, and the jerseys. Look at the jerseys.
Blowing a little bit in the wind.
Going back to what the coaches said when I interviewed them at the beginning of the game, weather being a pretty big factor when just playing, and wind picking up is definitely going to affect throws, and whoever can take care of the ball is definitely going to have a better chance here. Minimizing the turnovers is really crucial in a game like this.
I'm honestly really excited for the outcome of this game. Seeing both teams being able to give it their 100% just to win one thing at the end of the day.
Kelly Johnson mentioned when I was interviewing her at the beginning of the game that it's been a while since we've had a public school state finals. So
oh yeah,
in the
that
battle
is
of the
true.
North End teams, Ingram and Nathan Hale. So, yeah. Kai Dravosla with the pull. Oh, rolling it on the ground. Wow. It's about 5 yards from the 50. Jasper Dean picking it up and centering. Ingram looking at a
Like a zone right here.
Not centering. My bad.
There's a zone looking, and Jasper Dean with a scoober over
Right up.
and
Oh,
ripping it
that
to
is
the
a
end zone.
big huck.
Ooh,
Little too much there.
Little too much power. Was able to not complete the pass. But you saw Ingram being able to set up a zone, like a cup, and threatening Jasper to be able to throw over, which is, I think, what they
wanted to.
Yeah.
Forcing a big play and challenging Kai in the deep space. Something you always want to do.
The man's 5'4". Gotta give him some credit. And Kai DeRossalo with the
big huck. Conrad trying to contest it. Oh, just a mistimed jump.
A little too early of a jump.
Jasper Dean picking up Alex Katz, trying to call for the ball. Conrad with a big under. Looked off.
Ooh.
Hale just continuing to grind on these big unders.
Especially with Hale having like 11 seniors.
For sure.
There's a lot of chemistry on the field right now.
Coming from a team where in my junior year we had about 14 seniors graduate that year, the class of 2017. When you have that much people in a class, the chemistry is very big, but the next year is definitely hard to not lose that. And Tony Veneri, there's a big upwind bid for layup D. Number 96, Matthew Ryan. That is a big D right there.
Was a play. That was a highlight right there. See Ingram blocking him with their D.
Just miscommunication on the swing on where he wanted to go. Hale's fortunate that Ingram did not put this in. Would have put them up, 2 breaks? That's up. Jasper Dean to Tony Veneri, a classic. That's just bromance right there.
That was a score for Hale.
Being able to hold, tie it back up.
You can see here.
Blocked a little by the by the players. Just a little high release pass to Tony over the top. And Tony is so explosive and creates just great separation from his defender usually.
So here tonight in the finals, the game is up to 15, and there is 82 minutes left in the game.
Half is at 8, so
let's see who can get to half first. I've been noticing that both teams have been setting up a vert stack and getting really big unders to get more yards, and both teams are doing really good at defending one another and being able to lock down on D.
Both teams playing person D on the vert stacks. Not something I'm used to playing on a vert stack. I'm used to seeing a little kind of junkier throwing people into the lanes. Usually one on the break side unders, one on the open side unders, and just one deep and 2 people staying on the stack. It's really great to see the athleticism on being able to play person D, because it's really just one-on-one matchups that you really have to win.
There's a pull for Hale.
The wind obviously playing a factor in the amount of pulls. Ingram coming out with a side stack.
You can see Luca with that under. Looking.
Finds
for
David.
The under by Kai DeRossala.
Ingram is just doing a really great job of being patient with the disc. Although they aren't getting big unders like Hale is, they're working up little by little, not forcing too many turnovers. or not forcing too many throws.
See David looking. Ooh, Kai. Oh gosh.
That's a little scary right there when one player goes up and doesn't see their
Look
teammate.
at that brother
connections between Kai and Darby.
A brother connection.
Oh,
Jeez. You could see, you'll see in the replay here, you can see Kai.
Luca trying to get out the way of. Kai's a big man. I'd be scared to be in front of him if he's coming down.
Literally.
And there Kai finds his little brother, Darby, for the
Nice.
score.
That's what's up. How was it like playing with your young? Were you able to play with your brother? Dante?
Yeah, in my senior year, Aiden and I played together. He was a sophomore. Where were you?
Yeah,
Last
I
year,
was a
sophomore. Yeah. It was an experience, I gotta say. Aiden and I like to butt heads a lot.
Yeah.
But on the field, that kid he's a beast. So I
Really?
enjoyed playing with him.
Oh my goodness. Ingram's doing a great job. I think the only thing that's holding them back is being able to communicate a little bit more, creating more open space for them to work. So that I've been noticing them clumping up a lot, like a black hole coming towards the disc. Ingram just needs to communicate a lot more, being able to use the open space they have.
You see Ben Snell talking to the Ingram line after every point or before every point. Just giving them a little strategy. Hopefully it's enough to get a turn and get another break and put them up 2.
You can see the leaves falling down.
It's very windy tonight, a little chilly too.
Very cold. Ooh, that was
Another
a smart
roll.
roll. Didn't. Ooh,
Oh wow, look at
rolled
that
back.
disc. I hate when the disc rolls backward and it just keeps moving. Ingram coming out with a zone look.
Like a 4-person cup right there.
Yeah,
Being able
looks
to
like a
force.
4-2-1. And in the that's Jamie Kaufman in the backfield, coming out of. He was not playing last game due to concussion, but here he is tonight.
See Tony Veneri.
Tony to Alex Katz. There it is. Oh, and Katz with a big boy spike. He's feeling it. There you go. That's my son for you.
Alex Katz is an amazing player. You can see here Tony Veneri losing his defender, David. Looking
Straight up line.
to Alex Katz.
Ooh.
A close layout D. So Tony is one of the 4 captains. It is Tony Veneri, Jasper Dean, Joey Baxter, and Nathan Helm. And on Ingram, it is David Atwood, Jamie Kaufman, and Kai Dravasala. And comparing these rosters right now, Hale has a lot. Majority of their players right now are a lot of upperclassmen compared to the Ingram roster. You can see Ingram has more sophomores and freshmen than they do with juniors and seniors, while Hale has a lot of juniors and seniors. That's a lot of connection for Hale. Explains the undefeated season they've had. It's so much connections they've had with their juniors and their seniors. But Ingram is here to prove themselves tonight.
On the line for Ingram, who do we have?
Their best O-line right now.
We have the brothers back on. We have David and Luca. Can't spot who the other are. Here's Zov with the pull.
I'm pretty shocked that Zov is coming out here like nothing has happened to him. He's playing like a beast. That was a great pull by Zov.
That's one of the better pulls we've seen tonight.
That was
Making
a great
it more
pull.
than 3/4 of the field.
See
Back in a vert stack. And Luca goes. No.
Kai looking for his hammer. Gets faked off.
Oh,
and hammers!
last minute
A
hammer.
hammer!
Looking for David.
Oh!
And a great D. That was almost the full field. He
He's
threw
a
it.
big man.
He threw it from about where he was to the other side
like
of the field equally. That's a big hammer right there. Very few people who I know can throw a full field hammer.
Ooh.
Oh.
See.
Oh,
a
what
little
a
too high.
little too high for Spencer. Just enough for him to bobble it, and there you go. Ingram able to hold again. Kai to David Atwood.
I think that was a high release flick.
It is. Kai just so big, and it's easy for him to just throw those
can
higher
see that.
releases.
You can see he's looking for his handlers, but instead sees
Look at that. Just
David and
beautiful put. David able to reel it in. It was trailing away from him.
the connections that Ingram has too. It's a lot of tunnel vision here and a lot of being able to work it with the handlers, and that's pretty impressive, knowing like their handlers work together to be able to work it downfield and then use their cutters to be able to gain more yards.
What I've noticed from both teams tonight, that I think is just great to see from teams in general, is when not only your cutters, just all your players being pretty much all around. It's helpful when you can have a cutter that can come into the handler space and do the same job, and a handler being able to go in the cutter space. And so there's not miscommunication on what is happening during plays. I see a lot of times where teams also can have players who have specialties of just cutting or just handling. So it's great to see that these programs have developed the all-aroundness of each player.
Yeah, that is true. You can see Kimmy with the pull again.
Another shorter pull.
The wind taking its toll, doing its
Oh.
job.
The disc is actually a little bit more up. There you go, Cats. Centered to Jasper.
You can see Ingram doing a little poachy handler D right there.
Oh,
Ooh,
Jack with the bid.
Miscommunication. A little too low for that.
A lot of these points are, as you can see on your screen, being scored on the right side of the field. And that is the downwind side. Look at that downwind, or the upwind is just taking its toll on Hucks going to the left.
Hale's working with their unders again with their vert stack from the back of the stack, being able to come up under. You can see Cats.
Oh,
Oops.
Cats just misreading the disc because it bounced up with the wind.
Yep, the wind is most definitely taking its toll in this game tonight.
Battling for upwind points is always the hardest, and if you can score a break upwind,
Ooh,
then
Kimmy.
there it is. Is it a score? And there you go.
That's a score. That's a score.
That's a break. That's a break for Ingram Rams.
Ingram's doing really well, being the work upwind and downwind. You can see Kimmy's looking downfield, and Sungju is there.
No, that was Jamie.
That's Jamie, yeah. And then looks
Jamie
to
finding
Sungju.
an open receiver.
Oh, not Sungju. Number 9.
Tommy Palmer. That's really big, in my opinion, going upwind and being able to break.
Especially a huck upwind, a low huck upwind. I can't even do that. Ingram's just really working, being able to use their space wisely. You can see Hale is struggling a little bit, being able to work downfield.
You see Dom trying to tell his players two hands. Two hands is crucial to catch the disc. Most of the time, us high school boys like to show off a little, try and grab it with one hand, but in a game like this, one hand can cause turnovers a lot of the time.
Especially since it's very windy tonight. And both teams seem like they're really struggling with this wind tonight, and I wouldn't blame them. The wind is pretty crucial here.
our papers are flying around with the rosters on them.
The wind is carrying. It is also very, very cold tonight.
It's chilly.
Us sitting
You
outside.
can see if you look across the field. The camera's obviously pointing at the field, but the fans in the stands are bundled up because it's pretty chilly out here.
Right.
And here's Kimmy with the pull. Hale really needs to find momentum to get two breaks back.
This game
Oh,
is
and
making
Zav
me antsy.
catching. I always get scared catching downwind pulls just because they have a little bit more speed in Zav.
Calm down.
Being able to secure that swing that popped up.
You can see Jasper Dean in the middle of the disc, swung over to Tony Veneri. Tony Veneri is really good at finding pockets.
Although
Jasper Dean.
Hale usually is up in games, they're finding themselves down 2 right now. But there is 69 minutes still left. And no one has reached half yet. So they're still looking really composed. Jasper trying to find someone. That's a D. That's another turn.
That got
And
me.
Ingram has another chance to break. David
That was a
saving
great
a
catch.
great save.
See David being able to look downfield.
Kimmy shoving it into tight spaces, up line. Tony. Oh, miscommunication on the swing. That's big. Hale can get this hold upwind. Oh, Conrad. The wind is just popping these. He can't touch. He can't catch it, Tony. You got to do something from help. Oh, help deep. Someone.
And there, David looking for Kimmy.
This win, obviously, as you just saw, playing a huge factor.
You can see Ingram's
Ooh,
cutting into the
went
same
in
space a lot.
inside.
That
Oh,
was
drop.
down. This game is getting intense. Oh no. You can see Zav picking up the disc, swinging over to Jasper.
I think a key part is being patient when going upwind. I know it's tempting to huck it to a person who's beat their person by 5 yards, but with wind like this, the disc tends to pop up and it's harder to get those deep shots out. Up, Kimmy,
And catch your D's! That was a Hale score.
It's a nice hold upwind too. Hale said, that was Hale's response to Ingram being able to break upwind. If you can do it, we can do it too.
They said, hell no.
You're pretty punny. Pretty pun. Oh, look at this. Kimmy just tipping, macking the disc for Jack to put it in the end zone.
That was
Jasper holding his breath, and when Jack scored, was all for it.
Let's see if Hale can keep it up like this.
Hale needs a break in order to tie the game back up, and looks like there's a timeout called.
Timeout called for one of these teams.
I did not see who the timeout was by, though.
I have no idea either. But Dante, so do you still play Ultimate? I know you graduated last year, right?
Yes.
At Cleveland High School, and do you plan on pursuing your career?
I'm waiting for a transfer to UW to be accepted. And I really have to talk to DY about that, but I might plan on trying out for Sun Dodgers, so that'll be what I'm looking forward to, and being back on the field with Kenny Tong.
Shout out.
Ingram timeout. There you go.
Ingram timeout. Timeout.
I've always been envious just looking at these teams. Ben Snell's a pretty big guy, but if you look at this Ingram, they're all pretty tall. And I've just always been envious of that.
You can see everyone in the stands all bundled up, cheering for either one of these teams. I'm pretty excited myself to be playing for spring season. This makes me really excited to play, especially
my boys David Zhao and look like Nico. Probably Martin Lee over there too.
Cleveland boys. Especially us, both coming from Cleveland High School.
Very
Both
true.
very competitive players. So you can see Hale and Ingram getting their lineup ready. I honestly I'm pretty surprised they don't have any like final game day jitters. Have you noticed any?
Not so much. They all seem pretty calm
Pretty
and collected
calm.
about the game. I think when you're in the game, as soon as you start playing, those jitters seem to go away, and you kind of focus on taking care of that disc and getting it into the end zone. Ben Snell giving his boys a talking.
Ben Snell's such a good coach, especially for DY.
Let's see if Alex Katz pulls a backhand or a forehand. He's known for, at least I know him for, his standstill 70-yard hucks. God, that kid.
Oh gosh.
Here we go. Alex Katz. And
Let's
it's a
see.
backhand.
What?
Oh, it's going to roll too.
That's a great pull.
That is. Way to stop that roll by Ingram, number 54.
See Kai with the disc.
By Logan Monta.
Swung over to David.
David with the disc.
Looking, he wants. Every player wants to hook it deep.
Oh.
Whoop.
Wow. Just a bullet on the inside. Scrambling to find someone.
There you go, David in the middle. See Ingram's doing. Oh gosh! What the heck? That was a bit save.
What a grab.
Oh my gosh.
Way to save that disc. Oh!
Oh!
What a move to lose his defender.
Ingram just wants it.
It's not in.
It's not in. It's not in. It's not in. That was Luca.
Looking for David. Strike. Oh, that's
around.
big. Oh, Tony with a big, just reaching his arm out to get that D. That's big on an upwind. Upwind.
Ingram
trying to hold by Ingram. Now Katz looking, and there it is. That
to Tony Benary.
70-yard huck right there.
This Kai and Tony matchup is just honestly so fun to watch.
Tony just looking calm and collected, holding the disc at about the 30. Doesn't seem any pressure on him.
They're right in front of their end
Oh,
zone.
miscommunication. Just Tony stopped in his
See Kai pick up with the disc.
line, and it's
big
foot block. That's a big foot block.
What the heck?
By number 72 of Hale.
Oh my god.
Maxwell Bush. That's a big foot block.
Goodness gracious. See Alex
Here we go.
On the sideline.
Spencer making a 7 cut. Oh, that is the John Randolph right there. That's what Cleveland called the John Randolph. Making your cut, but circling around. That's a break for Hale. That's big.
Great.
Hale's tied it back up.
What'd you guys call that at Cleveland?
We called that the John Randolph because when we played them in the state finals 2 years ago, watch Spencer just coming back right up line with like a spin, and Darby bidding for it, but
nice.
Spencer, that disc was placed perfectly. Great effort by Darby with that layout D though.
This game is picking up. It's getting very intense.
It's getting chilly.
And it's getting very cold outside. But I think both teams are having trouble being able to move into the open space. I've been noticing that Ingram especially, they've been cutting into the same space and cutting towards the disc more. But if only they can communicate just a little bit more, then they'd be able to find those open spaces and those looks. But both teams are doing great so far.
We've seen in these past couple points, or past few points, the play is getting a little messier, and that's just a little bit due to the wind messing with the flight of the disc. Players gotta adjust their throws to the wind.
It's getting really, really cold outside. Oh, gosh. I'm actually really excited. The intensity both teams are starting to bring out more. They're starting to get more comfortable with the disc, more comfortable being able to play, and they're bringing a lot more out to when we first started the game.
This game, about an hour left, tied at 6. Whoever can get this game to half, that's definitely usually a momentum booster too.
You can see Ingram with their strong O-line right now.
Salve with the pull. That's a great pull-up win, Zav. Wow. Oh, that's actually pretty short too
It went pretty far.
for an upwind. Oh, and
Oh.
Kai shooting to number.
That
was a dime.
that
That was just a dime.
literally
Kai,
went
that was a shot.
straight into the end zone, and that was to number 5.
No, 80.
Are you sure?
Was it?
Swear it was number 5.
Here, we'll look on hopefully what comes of a replay.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
you're right.
Number 5.
I believe it was number 5.
He's a freshman. Dot 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 dot. That was. Like,
Just broadcasted over the mic in the stands. Game is to 15, and so half is at 8. Many players probably thinking that half was at 7.
if Ingram can take this one in the bag, they can be able to take it to half.
This is a big point. If Ingram can break Upwind and take the half,
Which
they
Ingram?
secure a 2-point lead.
They've been doing really good being able to score Upwind too.
Very. Kai, a man of many talents, not just roasting people deep and skying them, but as you saw in that last point, just a big huck, a big flick, just perfectly paced for his cutter to just run onto it.
Especially Kai taking a big role on Ingram. I'm pretty intrigued and curious on how Ingram's going to play when Kai leaves, especially.
Yeah, last year Kai had Silas to throw to him, and he
Yeah.
didn't really have to worry about throwing. But still, Kai showing that without Silas, he's still a big man out there. Big presence on the field.
Most definitely. See Kimmy with the big
Kimmy with the
pull.
pull. It's rolling, and it's
It's
short
rolling
again.
back.
Rolling backward at about the 50.
Dang, it's rolling all
And
the
it's
way,
rolling,
all
and
the
it's
way-
still rolling. Someone pick it up.
all the way back there.
Alex Katz trying to creep up a little bit, saying the disc is a little further up.
No, Alex. See Jasper with the disc.
Hale really needs to be patient here.
A big under by Conrad.
Get a
Slipping.
hold so that Ingram doesn't get the that disc
Oh.
pops up. Alex,
Alex Katz.
what a save. No foul. Looks like there was maybe a call. Never mind. Play continues.
See
Tony's just in the back of the end zone.
That was nice.
Alex just looking for Tony there.
Dimes
That's
among
another
dimes.
hold. 7s. This next point's big. Next point takes half.
Dun dun dun.
Look at this. Alex just looking straight at Tony, and Tony being able to see that that's exactly what Katz wanted.
You can see Kimmy was actually really close to getting that D. But
You
it
might
just
not be
went-
able to tell from the camera, but it is sprinkling pretty good out here.
starting to
And
rain.
that definitely plays a role other than the wind, because that disc is wet and slippery and harder to catch.
Rain plus plastic don't mix well. Seems like there's a timeout here.
Yes, timeout was called.
Oh, but it seems like Ingram already has a line on the field. This makes me excited, especially to play Winter League. We actually had the opportunity to play finals with Ingram.
With the Ingram mixed team where we lost on uni.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's where that's where Kai was just a beast.
I think that's when I realized how important Kai Dervasula was to the Ingram team. He was working really well, especially me not being able to recognize some of the Ingram players now, but Kai, it's pretty like noticeable how important he plays a role on this Ingram team. But then both teams have so much potential here on the field tonight.
Wow. It's coming down. Oh, you can see it.
It's coming
Look at
down
that rain.
pretty
It's
hard
coming
right
down.
now. It's going towards the.
Oh, there you go, Zob. Was that the pole? No, I'm just kidding.
It was not. It's pretty cold. You can see the rain is going towards the towards.
You can see which way the rain is going towards, which also indicates the wind blowing. And Hale needs to get a break upwind if they want to take half. In these conditions, it's really hard. Oh, all the fans too. You can see them moving up in the stands, trying to get out of the rain.
You can see there's a lot of people out here tonight knowing how cold it is and how windy, but there's a lot of Hale and Ingram supporters here tonight.
And this pull goes up here is for a half.
That's was
another
a
big
great
pull, Zav.
by Zav.
Oh, wow. Almost full field, Zav.
Oh,
That's beautiful. Tony just getting down there.
Hale's really locking up on defense.
Oh, and miscommunication on who might be going to Mark's. Big D by Conrad right there.
That was a D.
That's a big D.
Let's see if Hale can put this in the bag. So you can see Hale starting their cuts very early, way before and
timeout call by Jasper Dean.
Timeout.
What a veteran call! Oh, and the disc is moving, but veteran call. Getting that D upwind, getting that D and having to score upwind. You need some time to discuss with your team. Definitely, good call. Conrad making plays in this game, scoring and Ds. Yeah.
And actually, Jasper, Alex, Conrad, Asher, and Spencer have been playing since the 6th grade. And we've been seeing a lot of Jasper and Conrad connections tonight. And that explains a lot on what we're seeing on the field. But Dante, this was your first year of making YCC for Bankroll, and you were actually captain for your first year. How was that?
I regret not playing YCC or trying out a little earlier. In this first and final year of YCC, you mentioned I was able to be a captain of Bankroll, and it was a great experience because I was side by side with Carly, Campana, the GOAT, Mark Munoz, just a well-known presence in the Ultimate community in the South End, and a player on the Cascades, and Stephanie Phillips. I couldn't ask for 3 other co-captains, but also that Bankroll team just meant a lot to me. And that loss was tough, but you know, at the end of the day, Bankroll is family, and those memories will never be forgotten.
It's really impressive knowing that you made YCC your first year and you were actually captain for that Bankroll team. You can see Ingram setting up their defense with Hale coming from a vert stack.
Looks like Ben Snell's Ben Snell's directing his players on who they're guarding. Vert stack.
You can see Tony Veneri in the middle. Dishes it to Jasper. You can see Ingram doing a little poachy here.
Ooh, and a little wobbly disc right there.
And Tony Veneri looking.
Just great patience by Tony, not being phased by any of it. Ooh, slippery out here.
Ah! That was really close.
Someone's unguarded for a second when Luca tried to poach out in that lane.
See Conrad with the disc. Literally right in front of
Oh,
the
and
end
it just goes up. And Spencer
Ooh,
cannot
just
make a play. That throw just
tipped
ended
it
up
off.
blading.
Tipped off a
A
little
big
bit.
turnover
Let's
caused
see
by the wind.
the disc on the back of the end zone right there.
Kai taking his time. Not worried a little bit. Not worried a bit about the time.
The Tony and Kai matchup is definitely something to watch for. Both are amazing players.
Both showing that they can do everything on the field.
You can see Tony forcing those swings.
Tony, way to, jump off the mark, and a big cut goes up. Zob, can you read it?
Ooh,
What a great D by Jasper reading that disc. Oh, and that disc pops up.
Miscommunication.
Kai able to get the D, and
And
Kai
another-
throws another huck.
Another.
Spencer, can you make a
Oh my
Zob.
God!
David, that was a great
Whoa.
grab, just over.
You can
Man.
see David just so tall. And
That's
Ingram takes
that's a hold
half.
and takes half for Ingram.
Oh my gosh.
That's big. That is
David
big.
Literally getting over 2 Hale defenders.
I think, no, it was just one. Spencer was behind him, not being able to get in front of David,
And
but
Zob
Spencer was
there.
guarding 2 people at once, and Zob just tries to make a play.
And that was
That's
an Ingram
big.
score.
Ingram score.
So Ingram takes half, and we're going to be back and take a short break. And we're back from half. So here we can see, well, we cannot see, but
There you go.
Ingram.
Ingram pulling.
Ingram pulling with the disc, starting on O.
The intensity at the end of that first half started to ramp up, as you could see. That last point for half taking a bit longer, but Hale was able to put some pressure and get close to scoring a couple times.
We'll see the outcome of the second half starting with this point. Let's see if Ingram can start the second half strong or if Hale can. I'm pretty excited to see the outcome of this game. Both teams are doing a really great job of being able to keep up with their person D and being able to use their time at the disc wisely, because the disc is very precious.
For sure, and Ingram just doing a solid job in the first half of minimizing their turnovers and being a little bit more patient with what they're doing. Hale's coming out with a side stack.
It was Jack.
Big,
Ooh,
big
it was a nice save.
Under and save by Jack.
See Jack looking to center it to Cats.
Cat's not completely sure on that up line and just gets that somewhat dump
Ooh,
swing.
David's doing a really great job of keeping that handler D right there. See, Ingram's just working it up
Why
with
not?
unders.
Oh.
Why not? Easy. They're right in the front of the end zone.
Jasper straight to Conrad. There it is.
He's
Quick
in.
score. What a hold. We're at 8-8.
In that point, Hale was doing a really good job with just keeping their unders and giving it 100%. They weren't jogging. They were strictly unders and being able to clear out as fast as they can for the next cutter to be able to go under.
For sure, for sure. So, Gabby, how how have you seen some of these? I know you said you don't really know a lot of these players, and Kai being one of the few on Ingram, and then probably the household high school names like Tony Venerian, Jasper Dean, but seeing these players and being able to play against them, how does that make you feel?
Not gonna lie, I mean, I've played with some of them, maybe like against scrimmages or like trials or something like that. But being able to watch them, I personally don't know some of these players on a personal level, but being able to to know I've played with them or played against them or know who they are, it's pretty it's great knowing that these people do the thing I do, to just play Ultimate, and being freaking legends is so cool, because I can say that I played with them before. You see Zov with the pull.
That looks like it's trailing out of bounds. Nope, that's in, Zov. A little shorter than his past couple of pulls. Kai picking up the disc. Ooh, he took off the sweatpants. Getting a little serious.
Oh, that was really close.
Close to dropping right there, you're right.
See Ingram.
Oh, that's a big drop right there.
It's a big bobble.
That's a big drop.
Oh, Hale.
Tony, I don't know if that's on purpose, but setting up a little
really
higher than even as a second handler.
Ooh,
close to dropping. Those always, I don't know about you, but those always get my nerves. And just a little too much on the dump right there for Tony, and he tried bidding but missed.
Kai giving those.
Yes, Zov, what a great body on that up line. Ooh, and another just
overthrown
swing.
See, Tony wants to hook that.
Oh, Zov just dropping it
you can see Luka
on that under.
Luka to Darby. Darby's
up.
looking.
Oh, wow.
What a great shot.
And number 5, we've seen Jack Hills. We saw earlier catching that huck from Kai, and now just being really open on the score.
See Darby right here throwing that. He didn't even have to pivot. You can see
Perfectly
Jack.
placed to only where his only I'm kind of losing it. Only a place to where his cutter could get it. That's what I meant to say.
Jack really had to run for that though. Darby put that really well into space, knowing that his Hale defender was really on Jack's tail, and Jack had to book that down. He did a really good job. But
That's another hold.
Ingram's doing a really good job.
Ingram is doing a fabulous job tonight. I think some notable teams just in general who have caused Hale to go toe-to-toe. Ingram being one of them. Lakeside, I know Hale played Lakeside in a scrimmage, only beating them on uni, and Cleveland, playing Cleveland in the Metro Finals and beating them on uni as well.
Oh, most definitely.
I think that Hale does a great job of playing even when their backs are against the wall. Not even against the wall, because just when games are close, they do a great job of keeping their composure.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Backs against the wall would be games where you're down a lot, and this one is a really tight and close game.
See Hale with the pull. The wind's starting to pick up a little bit.
Yes, it is.
Ooh,
Oh,
Jasper wanted that.
Jasper did, but looks like Joey slipped.
Oh, Alex Katz with his fakes.
Hale doing still. Oh, Conrad, what a just drop by on the disc. The disc dropped, and that's a bid.
Ooh,
Wow.
that was
Way to
came out
reel
of
that
nowhere.
in. Way to reel that in. Number 88,
see
Nathan Helm,
He's one of the captains.
one of
too,
the
for Nathan
captains,
Hale.
a junior.
He's only a junior. You can see that nice extension right there. Came down with a spike. It's just back and forth scoring.
Pretty much, other than when Ingram went up by 2 earlier. What was it, 6-4? And Hale being able to get those breaks back and get it to 6-6, and then we saw it brought to half at 8-7. But other than that, this game has been toe-to-toe, and it's just been a lot of back and forth offensive holds. Like I said earlier, the majority of the points being scored on the right side of your screen, and that is the downwind side of the field.
Yeah, actually, most definitely. I'm honestly really excited to see the outcome of this game. Both teams, I feel like, deserve it, but there can only be one winner.
Gabby, knowing you've played a lot of Ultimate yourself, but primarily playing Cutter,
Yeah.
how comfortable are you, even as an experienced player, throwing Upwind? I know that's usually challenging for most players.
It is honestly really hard. Me playing, being able to play like for YC, so
Wow.
and all that stuff.
That carry on the disc. Continue.
But me being able to,
That huck goes up. No one is back there. Oh, can he make a?
God.
That was a great effort by Luca to try and get there.
But me being able to play Ultimate, it is honestly pretty hard to throw
Ooh.
Upwind.
Another crucial D. Ingram's trying to hold. Luca to David. And David to Kai.
Score for Ingram.
Looks like they were a little mixed up on who had who.
Ingram.
David with a free and finding Kai for an open score.
They want the bread. You can see Luca picking up the disc here.
Great fake to make his mark move, hitting an open David and just
You can see David hitting Kai right in the chest. Just a little dishy pass in front of their end zone.
It's another hold.
They're hungry this year. They want it. Kai's just been a really star player this game. There's no doubt in what he can't do.
There's no doubt in what he can do.
Yeah.
Here we have Kimmy pulling again.
Kimmy's been pulling this whole game.
Pretty much.
See the fans cheering louder.
Hear a little cowbell from the other side of the stadium.
Ingram is 5 points away to being able to take home the gold. But there are 33 minutes left in the game, and that is a lot of time.
Definitely. And Hale not backing down. Just still holding. And that pull is rolled, not even to the half. But that was probably a little strategy. And here we see Ingram. That was definitely a strategy right there. Pinning Jasper, trying to pin Jasper on the sideline and throwing his own look. Ingram trying to point out that the disc was definitely a little more back than where Jasper was trying to bring it. Quick movement.
You can see Ingram with their 4-person cup.
Wow.
Breaking the mark.
Wow. Tony just phenomenal. And breaking the mark. Connor, that's a big drop.
A drop.
That is a big drop. Up! That disc is up, and can Jasper make a play? Wow, big D by Jasper.
That was a great
big D by Jasper.
The man's just tall.
He's a big man, too. I'm telling you, he hit 2 growth spurts, and that's another one that's going up. Can Joey make a play? Joey, extend on that, buddy. I had the chance to play with Joey on Seven Hills as well. And I know Joey can hit some fat bids. Is it? I thought that was, does that say 40? What number is that?
Oh, and that was a D for Ingram.
That's a great D. Jasper, oh, miscommunication on that throw. No, that's Joey. It's 44.
You can see Ingram with the disc now to David. He wants to throw that.
Big,
he wants
great
to throw
fake
that.
by David, losing his mark, but not enough, and it's up.
Ooh, that's such
Great
a wonky
D.
throw.
Disc flipped a little on the throw. So it happens when you're going upwind.
See, disc is
Jack with
stuck
the disc.
on the sideline. Ooh,
what a
that's a
swing.
nice break side throw towards the middle. Can dish it. Handlers being able to work back and forth with their dishes, especially going downwind. It's really.
Oh, with the toast. Oh, wow, Tony.
Tony's
that is just
great.
Tony as a handler. He is very explosive and hard to keep track of. Jasper, high release.
Ooh, a pick
Inside
is called.
break.
A pick is called.
Wow.
It's great how players know their hand gestures.
Yeah, especially when we can't necessarily hear what they're saying. Having the gestures of what the call is.
Especially with Ultimate being a no referee type of sport.
Self-officiated.
It's great to have players be able to communicate with each other and be able to negotiate a call or a foul.
In case you don't know what the rule is, a pick is usually when it's the same as in basketball, but in Frisbee they are illegal. Or not, I guess they're called that you can make, which prevents you from getting the disc. And a pick is, what is it, 10 feet? 10 feet.
Yeah.
If you're obstructed within 10 feet of your person, then you can call a pick. I used to think it was 10 yards, but I realized how much 10 yards was. And there you go. Hale holding as well.
Score. You can see that point. Tony Veneri was really working with those give and goes, being able to get the disc in his hands and give it off to another teammate. And that's no surprise coming off from Tony Veneri. See that big spike. It is 10s right now. Both teams are 5 points away with 29 minutes left in the whole game. I'm excited, and I'm not
You
even
can see
playing.
a little confusion on who's going on. Hale looks like they need one more still.
The coaches have been really, really smart on who to put on their lines. It seems like they don't have strict O and D lines. Well, it seems like they do have strict O and D lines. And the way that the coaches constructed them seems to work really well. Both teams are just doing great so far.
For sure, for sure. Hale having a very deep roster, and always having legs definitely plays a big factor, but even Ingram usually has a big roster too. And both these teams have players at their disposal. And here's this pull by Zav. That's another big pull, Zav, upwind. Almost, oh, that's full field, he let it roll. And he's gonna get down there?
Yo, that's a lot of hustle there for Hale.
Luca with the disc. Trying to look upfield, trying to find David. And he's probably at a high stall count right now looking, and that's a hand block.
That's a hand block.
That's a big hand block by Zav. Zav just stepping off the mark and putting his hand up, seeing that Luca is at a high stall count. Makes a veteran move to step off and find where Luca's trying to put it.
Zav is really working. The handlers for both teams are doing a really great job.
Wow, Zav, what a put into that space for Jasper to run into.
Ooh, he just really has long arms.
That disc is up. 25. Big unders, continuing the big unders. That is a Hale. Is that a Hale break? Looks like there's a call. Maybe whether that was in or out.
It seems, in my perspective, seemed like Spencer had the disc in his hands and kind of bobbled it as he was going out. Let's see here.
That disc is put very low. Oh.
Yeah, he was still bobbling it.
He was still bobbling it.
But he had the possession in his hands as he stepped out of bounds. But let's see what the players have to say about.
They're still talking about it.
If anything, they will be able to contest the play and be able to do it.
I think another part about, I don't know if you've experienced this, but sometimes players don't come into calls open-minded, and so if it's what they think it is and they just stand by it the whole time, then it's hard to really talk about it. And it looks like
they're bringing it in front of the end zone?
Yes, to the front of, if it was, yeah, there you go. If it was contested by Kai, then it should be going back.
It's brought back to Asher Landa. Right on the
a big moment. This could
25.
decide whether Hale gets a break.
Let's see. You can see Ingram locking down on their defense right now. You can see.
That's up to Jasper, and Jasper at the front of the end zone.
In a blind.
There you go.
He's running a marathon right here.
And he's dunking it on the field goal post right there. Hale ecstatic about that score. That is that is one of their, no, it was just a break. It's just a break. I was gonna say first break, but they had breaks earlier.
A lot of breaks.
That's really big. Late in this game, Hale finds a way to break Ingram upwind. That's a momentum shifter. Ingram doing very well to keep this game having clean play most of the time, patience. Hale looking a little messier than usual, but they have found themselves taking the lead 11-10.
There's only 24 minutes left in the game. I was looking at the rosters, and actually, they're the same number of players in each team. And that's pretty impressive because both teams are working each other, and both teams have the same amount of, how do you say it, intensity and determination. And both teams are working at 100%, getting a lot of Ds and being able to score. That's why this game is so tied up and so intense.
How do you think that score for the break goes into the mindset of Ingram players being up for the
Up for so
the
long.
whole game actually, but but being in the lead, and now Hale takes the lead for the first time in the game.
I mean, for Hale, that's such a booster of energy and confidence. And there's still 23 minutes, and like both teams shouldn't be able to hang their heads low. Like
There's
the game's
still a
not
lot
over.
of game left.
Yep.
There's a pull by Zov. That is a deep pull.
Zov has been giving great pulls lately. You can see Ingram. You see David
Coming
with
out
the
in the
disc.
side stack.
Ooh, that was a great catch by Kai. Kai
Tony,
wants to.
great way of safe play, not laying out into Kai. And, ooh,
That was a great
just
catch.
into space by Kai.
You can see them working in the end zone.
Ooh.
Oh, working up against the sideline.
Oh, that's up. Can Ingram put it in? It's looking a little like it's getting a little chippy with players. Not, wow. That upline cut.
Ooh, Kai. It's a lot of opens. There's a lot of
It's getting a
Ingram
little chippy
players.
here. Physicality is increasing for sure.
A lot of Ingram players cutting towards
Wow.
easy pocket.
Wow.
That was a great find.
Last second find by Kai.
That was a score for Ingram. You can see in that point, a lot of Ingram players are cutting into that space, which is making it harder for Kai to find people open. And you can see David cuts for the second attempt to cut back and gets that easy pocket.
What's really hard about being a defender in those positions is you are forced to just always be on that open side and under your player. But when you're in the front of the end zone, you kind of bite toward the other side because you think they're going to make a move, and they just stand still and get that open look.
For sure.
Going back to that quote earlier, when Hale said, or when Ingram scored Upwind first, and then Hale came back right, doing it again, and saying, if you can do it, I can do it. And here, Hale doing it, and then Ingram coming back and showing them that they can do it as well.
See the sideline starting to get a little bit more louder.
And that last point, I don't know if you noticed, but the physicality was definitely increasing. We saw little shove on an up line.
Yeah.
And marks being a little tighter and the throwers kind of pushing off their marks.
They're getting more physical with each other.
And it makes sense. It makes sense in a tie game, later in the game, when it's coming down to the line, who wants it more?
I think what DY said was kind of true about how whoever takes the ball, whoever gets it and uses it more smarter and uses it wisely, it will come down to whoever just can put it in the bag more. I don't know where to say it, but both teams have been doing that. They've been playing, using the disc and being able to use it wisely. So it's really hard to tell right now who can seal it.
For sure. Tied at 11, less than 20 to go. Both teams scoring on upwinds and forcing the other to play offense going upwind.
This game is
This is intense.
getting too intense. And I'm not even playing. I can feel it. Kimmy with the pull again. He's been pulling
Almost all of Ingram's pulls.
Yeah. A big wind up. Ooh.
That's a nice floaty. Give time to your.
Oh, it
wow.
was full field. Yes.
Look to Tony. Oh, never mind.
That was a great pull by Kimmy.
This is definitely backs against the wall. You need to get it out of the end zone. Minimize the chance of a Callahan. It gets really scary when you're 10 yards in your end zone.
You can see Ingram blocking it on their D with Hale giving big unders and being able to use their open spaces with the handlers.
He's looking. I saw Jack from the far side of the field. He was looking for a deep, and Tony maybe thinking about it for a second.
Ingram's really locking it down right here.
Ingram trying to apply the pressure, trying to get the break back. That's a big D.
That was a incredible
big.
D by
This is
Kimmy.
big.
You can see David with that big under in the middle, looking for Kai. Ooh, that was a.
That's a risky.
Ooh, Tony.
Be careful, Tony. Be careful, Tony. Timeout called by Kai Dervosala.
You can see that both teams are getting so used to throwing their bodies out there more and being able to fast break.
I think another thing that comes in with physicality is safe play. Games that tend to get chippy toward the end and intensity starting to pick up is when we start to see dangerous play, a little bit more dangerous play happening. And it's scary, especially if you're maybe going up line and you can't see a poach defender coming to try and get a D in, crashing into each other, or like that one where the swing is floaty and the defender tries to make a play and running into you trying to catch the disc.
Yeah. I know you have a lot of experience with that. You being a baller player out watching Dante. Especially me going to Cleveland and seeing Dante playing his season. You take so many risks, especially you being so good on D and O-line, being able to throw your body out there. So it does make a lot of sense on how much intensity both teams are being able to throw their body out there, because both teams really want it. They want that D, or they want to be able to keep possession of the disc. And it makes total sense on why both teams are
For sure.
doing that so far. But
just a question for you, Gabby. If you have to think about players you've had to guard in terms of physicality, who would be your top three?
Oh gosh, Bailey Shigley, Hazel Ostrowski, and oh gosh, probably Abby Hecko. 3 legends I know. I know you played with Hazel Ostrowski for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Hazel's aggressive. When she wants the dish, she will get it. You can see here Ingram, Kai picking up Ingram in a vert stack. Looks like a set play. Zav, what a great job. Ooh.
Ooh. See, Hale wants it.
Jack, way to be safe on that, not laying out through your defender or your offender.
See Kai on the sideline.
That Tony and Kai matchup. Tony really wanting that, and it's up, and
oh
that's a big score.
That's a score for Ingram.
That's a big score. That's just a great score. I think, was that a break?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was?
Because Ingram had scored upwind. That is
a break.
That's a big break.
You can see Kai looking for his option, and there's no one that's open as of right now. But Someone is always open.
That was just a perfectly placed disc by Kai at the front of the end zone, floating it to give his teammate enough time to milk it into the end zone.
As a scorer to Salma. Salma's been a really important player this game too. He's been a great cutter, being able to go deep and time his cuts to get those throws by Kai. With 14 minutes left in the game, with the game going to 15. Game's not over.
Game is 15 minutes left. Ingram with that break.
You can see that both teams are starting to lock it down on defense and on offense. Both teams are starting to play a lot smarter, and both teams are starting to play harder person defense, and they're starting to play smart. And both teams have been showing so much intensity in the second half.
For sure. When it gets late in this game, you want the lines out who can get you those Ds and get the breaks, and it really comes down to the defense. And in my opinion, defense wins games because they can break an offensive line and put your team up.
Most definitely.
That's up. A big hook from Jasper. Floating.
Oh.
Jack is back there.
Back.
Jack!
Back.
Wow.
Oh.
There was a call there.
A foul?
Jack looked like he actually had it, and it looks like he may be calling a strip.
Or it seems like something. I'm not sure what. Probably is a strip. So we'll see
Jack
here.
goes up, and
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Seems like,
Personally,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if it was in slow-mo, we'd be able to see if he had stop rotation, but strips are when a disc is ripped from your hand, and usually in order for you to call a strip, you have to, Tony with a great save on that disc, for a strip to be called, you have to stop rotation of the disc.
Yep. You can see
Hale still working those big unders
is
and
Joey,
swings.
one of the captains for Hale, centered back, Tony Veneri.
It's
looking.
up, and Jack, there you go. He went back for the goal.
Another kick spike from Jack. From
Tried to kick it again, picks it up for another spike.
you can see his second attempt being able to get the goal. He did.
There you go.
See Tony Veneri looking, makes eye contact, throws it into space. Yep, that was an easy score by Hale. The game is starting to close out pretty tight, very intense.
Which team can break Upwind is the real question in these last 10, 11 minutes of the game. Is the real question.
Oh my gosh, this is so scary. Me coming down from the south, I don't really know much about like the North End players or like any like I don't know much about I don't know much, and I don't like know some of these people on a personal level, but you can see the bonds and the connections both of these teams have, because for sure the South End, like Cleveland, Franklin, and Beach, we're all family, and you can see that both teams still have respect for one another, and both teams have the connection and that brotherhood here, and we can most definitely feel that with the vibes both teams are bringing out tonight.
For sure. I probably can't keep count, but doesn't it seem like Tony has been playing the whole game?
I
That
probably think so.
maybe a couple of subs, but I feel like he's played the last 5 points, and when you have some star players like that, what happens when they run out of gas?
Especially Tony coming back from Worlds.
Here we go, 9 minutes left.
Let's see who can put it in the bag.
That's in.
So
Big pull too.
almost fulfilled. So
12s.
to David, to Kai. He wants to shoot it.
Kai's looking. He's trying to find someone. Yes, Jasper locking
And he
up. That is a
looks.
big huck. And
Oh!
Spencer.
Oh,
Wow.
That brother connection.
Another brotherly connection. Kai to Darby.
That was a great
13-12.
look.
Great hold by Ingram. Trying to just get the quick scores in.
That was a great look by Kai. You can see he ran down for his brother, being able to reel it into the end zone. You can see him celebrating.
For sure. I think that in Spencer Land's position, it's very hard when you have two offenders and you're the only defender back there to either try and get in front of the two people or hope that the first one misses and you don't get banged out on from behind and get the D.
Yeah, most definitely. England. Darby's only a sophomore. And seeing the brothers, both of them work together, seeing their connections throughout the whole game shows a lot about their relationship.
Games like this is what gets not only the crowd on their feet, as you can see on the other side. I don't know if you can see on the other side of the field, but they're all lined up on the fence. And even those who are still in the stands, some of them are on their feet because this game is very intense and it gets your heart racing.
Hope you're having fun at home.
In your warm condition over there.
Jumping around, screaming.
Can Ingram force a turn and break? Kimmy with the pull. Oh, you can hear Ingram. That sideline is ramping up, trying to cheer for the D. Looks like there was a few poaches. Jasper to Tony.
Tony looking to.
Oh, what a save by Zov.
Both those undercuts and looking downfield is great work by Tony. You can see Jasper looking for the unders to Conrad. Conrad's looking. He looks for Alex to the middle. To Jasper. Open space to Conrad.
There's another hold.
Back and forth.
That is big.
Score. That was a score for Hale.
Each one of these holds is big because it stops the defenses from breaking.
You can see Katz throwing it to Jasper with an easy backhand to Conrad. Has a great layout effort though from number 9, Tommy.
5.5 minutes on the clock. And we're tied at 13s. This is intense.
This is getting scary. I'm scared.
It looks like there is a timeout called.
There's a timeout from Hale.
Shout out to Fulton Media and DiscNW for quick shout out to Fulcrum Media and Disc Northwest for making this live stream possible.
And also being able to make.
This is the last timeout of the game. No timeouts
last
left.
timeout of the game.
Timeouts left.
But also, yeah, shout out to Fulcrum Media for being able to live stream this so that everybody at home can be able to watch this. And for Disc Northwest to make everything possible.
Getting these teams out here and just creating a really big and great community. Great community here in Seattle. Sorry, I was a little far away from the mic.
You can see both teams are hyping themselves up.
We can see fans from the stands coming
down.
4 minutes left, tied at 13s.
You can see literally people from the stands coming down. You can see from your screens.
Hale is pulling. Hopefully
them
Hale
here.
gets a break.
Fans coming down to cheer them
And for
on.
Ingram, hopefully they can get a hold.
It's getting intense, Dante. It's getting really intense. We're really excited. Everybody's excited.
3.5 minutes left. The longer it takes to pull this disc, the less time Hale has if Ingram holds. So I think Hale is trying to run out this clock as much as possible in hope that they get a break.
Let's just see what the outcome is.
Ingram putting out their solid O-line that has been putting in work. The names of David Atwood, Kai DeVosla, Darby DeVosla. Who else is on that line? Luca. The pull is up, and it's short.
You can see that Ingram right now is being really, really patient with the disc. You can see David on the sideline with
It's
a
an
big
big
up
up line.
That was huge.
2
Ingram
minutes
just
20
needs the
left.
yards.
The swing.
And a pick
There's
is
a call.
called. A pick is called. It is getting really, really cold outside.
The clock continues to wind down. If Ingram puts this in, there might not be enough time for another pull to go off.
The disc is in.
Tapped in.
Ooh, and a nice save catch by Darby. Looking for a handler.
Jasper Dean.
Looks for David.
1 minute and 45 seconds
and a
left.
Big under by Kai. Something is called. A pick was called.
Another pick called. Time running down. 1 minute left.
1 minute left in the game, everybody.
This is probably the last point.
And see David Atwood with the disc.
At this point, if I were Hale, I would let Ingram put it in and hope that our O-line can hold and force
That
Darby
nice
with a
to
great
Darby.
save.
This is getting intense.
Up, the disc is up.
My!
It's a drop. That might be a big call if he is calling a strip. If he is calling a strip, that is a big, big call.
Especially since David's defender was not looking at his direction at all.
Jasper was face guarding him, and
Was not able to
hard cap
see.
is now on. Hard cap is on. You can see them discussing it. Jasper was face guarding David, and David feels like, oh, there is one more point after this.
Let's see if Ingram can put this in the bag. It's coming in at 6. Stall is coming in at 6.
At this point, you want to be Hale, and it is a dish up with
It
Zav with a
is
bid,
a
but
dish
Ingram
Upline
puts
for
it in.
the Rams. The intensity is so up right now.
If the result is a score, they said there would be another point, and there's another point, I believe.
Is there another point, or
I'm still questioning whether there's another point.
I seems to look as
It
that's
seems
game.
Is that game?
Of the looks of it, there's your
That's the game. Your 2018 high school state champion the Ingraham Rams with a final score of 14-13.
That game was so intense. that point was basically universe.
That point was universe. And
I'm
you can see on the face of Hale how much that broke them down. I know how that feels when you are on universe point, and the disc just gets in there.
most definitely.
That's it for tonight. Thank you for watching the Disc Northwest USAU Boys State Finals, and we'll see you next time.
Yep.